Swear to God, now is my. Okay, cool. Alright, well, let's try this again. Hopefully, you guys can hear me now. That might be a little loud. If I'm too loud, just let me know. I'm gonna fuck around with it a bit. But I was talking the entire time, so that's pretty embarrassing. Just like literally yammering on for like, I don't know, 10 minutes just to myself, so that's cool. Twitter down 4% after hours. Yep, wrecked. Has Jack said anything yet? So I'll let you guys hop in here, and make sure you guys can actually hear me this time, but yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't said anything. He said hashtag Bitcoin 22 hours ago, and that was actually him, right? and then within a day, all the biggest accounts on Twitter are all talking about Bitcoin. Seems a little bit of a weird coincidence if you ask me, no? Oops. Seems really weird to me. I don't know if anyone else happened to see that too, but I was about to send all my money to Elon Musk. Okay, can you guys hear me before I fucking... Is everything too loud? Like, I don't want to make sure I'm not fucking going on. Okay, cool. Alright, well, I'm back now, so that's great. Awesome. Kane, can you, like, reword that in, like, an English way? That'd be awesome, bro. Ask them to talk about Link? Okay. Right, well, I know there's fucking so much stuff going on Twitter right now. It's hard to keep up with it, and I was just talking about... Cool. Well, when I was talking to myself, I'm trying to decide if I consider it bullish or bearish for the space. Because it is a lot of publicity when you think about it, right? Like, I don't know, and I think, like, one guy on my feed was saying that, oh, it's bad publicity, it's, related with scamming, but at the same time, like, that's many, many millions of people that at least get that in their mind even a bit, right? Like the crypto as a whole, so, I don't know. Well, yeah, hack into the accounts though, like it's whatever the fuck the word is. Obviously, it just like wasn't genuine posts, right? That's kind of the thing, but so seems pretty crazy to me though. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, yeah. Obviously, these news things are gonna like word it in a Joe Biden? Oh my God, are you kidding me? They're like, oh, I don't think I should go all the way to Trump, but maybe I'll stop at Biden. Oh my God, yeah, yeah, I'll go over those, man. Jesus Christ, look at that. That's so funny. Yeah, see, fuck. That's actually fucking insane. I think the only big account that's Yada Biden. Oh my God, that's so funny. I think they've gotten almost every single big Twitter account there is, other than like the president himself, and I don't know if he's gonna like say fuck it and do it, or if he's gonna stop at Biden, which is a pretty close second, right? So, yeah, see, fuck, that's so funny. Okay, well, let's get into it, I guess. I don't want to waste too much of your guys' time here. So, just looking at the heat map, really, doesn't look like there's anything overly exciting. Fucking a bunch of thick walls all the way up to 9.6. And then more or less nothing below. So, yeah, these have appeared recently. This afternoon at some point, these extra walls have shown up. So, I'm not really sure where we're headed next. A lot of the time, these actually do get tapped, and they're not even like they're kind of a facade anyway, but it's nice to just see what the heat map looks like. But nothing overly exciting. Open interest is, slightly going down, but still uptrending. So I don't know. It's doesn't really tell us a whole lot. So I'll look at the actual Bitcoin chart though. I sent it to you guys in position updates, and let's just see what we got. Yeah. So I don't know, like we haven't really done much of anything for quite a while now. We're still just ranging basically. We're below the 4-hour 200 EMA and the entire 4-hour MA cluster here, right? We're below it, so that's bearish. We're below 9.3, which is the range you've been watching for a while, so that's bearish. Below the daily and weekly open, which is bearish, but above the monthly. So, but it's just been this sideways kind of chop. So, but it's good though. It's letting alts breathe as long as we go sideways. But I feel that a move is um, pretty imminent. But yeah, we'll see. I'm just drawing some lines here quick that I probably should have done earlier, but yeah. So even just looking at this, guys, you can see price is kind of tightening up in this wedge. So I'm assuming I don't think it'll get nearly to the peak of this, like the peak of the wedge. It's gonna either break below or above in the next like few days, and obviously bring some volatility with it, and then that'll very likely crush alts either way. I'm assuming if Bitcoin goes up or down, alts are gonna fucking have a panic attack and start falling. So I've reduced my exposure across the board. Um, Futures wise, like I was mentioning, I have some link, just because I thought it looked good on this very low time frame 5-minute wedge that it broke out of. So I bought it. I actually bought some at the bottom diag here and then on the breakout as well. And then just stops are back below here. With between here, below the 5-minute cluster, and then below these diags here. So I don't know. The link's one of the few that I think actually um, look good right now. Vet I was trading earlier, but it's just kind of like indecisive chop. Tezos. Yeah, I don't know about Tezos. Tezos is. Oh yeah, we still got a few hours left, but this was our previous high right here, right? So if we close above that, that's even just enough bullish reasoning to buy that horizontal retest after the daily closes. It's too soon now, right? It's still considered resistance until we close above. But Tezos actually looks good, and I know there's a lot of people that have like their Link versus Tezos fractals. It actually looks fairly accurate, and Tezos does usually move with Link. So yeah, this is another one that I am assuming that, it's the obvious play, but might even be one of the best plays. Just like Link. Like, Link's fucking gone on a tear, and, like, all you have to do is long Link, like, a week ago, and you'd be rich. So, kind of funny to think about, but, yeah, this isn't one to sleep on. Then, yeah, this, obviously, the local high is the next resistance level that I'd be targeting, a few percent above, and then, yeah, solid 18%. So, do 10x leverage, that's 180% if you get a nice entry here on the retest. So, pretty neat shit. So I'll go over Imran. I know that you're in a different time zone, and I don't want to keep you up too late if you want to fuck off soon, but ZJLT's being kind of a bitch, as you can tell. It was looking really good. Obviously, we broke out of this diagonal here that we were watching for a while. Started flipping the daily MA, started uptrending really nicely, and then obviously, as you can see, kind of puked it up, lost the daily MAs, sitting on this last one here, and then also strugglingly holding on to the 4-hour 200 EMA. So you can see this is puke, puke, puke. Um, Honestly, like obviously it doesn't look very good, but to an extent, this would actually be a potential like entry trigger, because as we know, this EMA has been very powerful in the past, and obviously will continue to be, but it's kind of its last line of defense, right? So if we lose that, it's probably gonna probably head down the 4-hour 200 MA, which is another few percent down. But honestly, if we lose this, I'd probably look to cut it, just because, well, I probably would have started cutting it earlier as it started to fall. But seeing that you're still in full position, it looks fine, but like keyword like fine doesn't look great, doesn't look overly bullish, but You never know with Huobi coins, they will try and shake you out and then pull a 180 and then keep launching up. So we'll see what happens with that. That's all there really is to do with that. And then UUU. As you can see, like the MAs are so fucked up, right? Like you see they're all over the place, fucking sporadic, crazy shit. But as we're getting closer and closer to current price here, right? Let me just make this a little bigger. Um, as we're getting to like more and more recent times, you can see the MAs aren't like this. There's a zoo over here, right? But now as we get closer to here, they're tightening up and at least getting a bit of composure. Um, and obviously we were rejected really hard here off the 200-day EMA, and it's done that like quite a few times in the past as well, right? We flipped here, but then instantly rejected. There's a handful of wicks into it, so that's obviously like a really big hurdle to like get past. Um, Honestly, it still looks great though, right? Like we're still sitting like between the daily MAs. I think in validation wise, I would not want price to close the day below this thick diagonal I have here, right? Because it's retested one, two, three, four times, and then hasn't come near it since. So if we lost this, uptrend, or like diagonal, yeah, it's obviously going to come revisit this strong SR, because if we zoom out like quite far, we looked at this last stream, but if we zoom out quite far, this zone right here, like this green box, has been a very strong support quite a few times, but that's still a decent, if it falls here, let's move that out of the way, yeah, it's about 12% you'd lose if we lose this diagonal. And then if we lose that, then we're going to go to all-time low area, which is this green box I highlighted down here, which is another 30%. So another Elon one. Yeah, like I honestly am very, like I'm looking forward to hearing like the story behind it all, like just like how they got access. Like obviously there's going to be some kind of reporting on it, but I'm surprised like Jack hasn't done anything yet. Big Elf, the hackers only managed to walk away with 100k, yeah. Yeah, they probably should have started with, like, Gainsey made a good point. What the fuck's this thing? It was very poorly, I thought his name was here too. Very poorly executed in my opinion, like, where the fuck is it? Yeah, this is also inefficient, like, given the accounts they had control of, they could have crashed not only BTC market but the actual stock market. Profits would be in the billions, Gainsey, yeah. Yeah, like they'll make some good points, and like it's actually really fucked up some of the stuff they could have used, and the fact that all they did was target crypto Twitter, like really? Like I just, I would have really planned this one out a little more, but they just like, as you guys saw, they just like randomly went from account to account crypto Twitter wise, starting with Angelo, and then went berserk and like moved their way up to like the bigger and bigger Twitter accounts. But yeah, it's actually insane what they could have done on the stock market. Like if they tweeted something from Biden's account or just anyone like this, like they could have, or even just like Apple saying, "Oh, our new iPhone, we're like it's something to do with their iPhone," or any kind of product, like I don't know, mass discounts, or like you could just say we reported this much money in revenue, or like there's so many things they could have done to the traditional market, so it's pretty crazy. Yeah, honestly, there's a million things, but we can speculate later. I don't want to take up more of your guys' time, but sorry, back to the point. Honestly, it looks fine. I like how the daily MAs are trying to reset. It might take a little while longer, right? Just to let them reset a little while longer. Maybe get to this diagonal again. Start riding the diagonal up, and then this MA is also going to come from above. Diagonals come from below. Obviously, when we get to around this point, when I'll pretend I'm the MA, it's going to come down here. It's going to squeeze against price, and then it's going to have to pop a direction, right? And as you guys have seen on like the 3-day chart, or just like a zoomed out daily chart, the upside is pretty intense. So having a bag Yeah, it can be up to a few thousand%. So we'll see what happens. It's just like a good moon bag to have at least, but honestly, it could take a little bit of time. At least up to, yeah, like it could take a few weeks up until even like August-ish, but we'll see what happens. I'm not good at talking a mile a minute, but if you guys want me to look at anything else more specific or, you know, want me to elaborate on anything, as always, just like let me know. Be like, hey Trev, like what about this? Or can you look at this time frame? Or like what about entry or exit or invalidation or anything like that? I can totally help. But I'll go through, oh yeah, look at this, beautiful. I'll go through my altcoin watch list and try and keep an eye on Twitter and all this crazy shit that's going on, but it's absolutely fucking insane. Yeah, like fucking Ultra Shorts Link. No, 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 don't do that. Don't be ridiculous. Anyway, um, so to look at some of the coins that we've had or at least I have an eye on, I'm sure you guys do as well. As we saw with ERD, like fucking look at that monster. So very similar structure. Like okay, so kind of just go over it. Obviously downtrended, built this wedge. We even had our eyes on it here, which is the funny thing. We just didn't maximize on it by any means. Broke out, retested, started flipping the daily MAs. Obviously, clearly bullish. And then even if you bought on that, like the 7 MA on the daily, like look at it, it just kind of follows it and tags it the entire way up. If you just keep buying those retests, it just keeps going. So, but my point is now, seeing that it's too late for ERD, I think Troy does look very similar. So does ONE and Seller, but I don't know. This just looks a lot more, like it just hasn't had any major moves yet, but looks ready to do so. Fucking, you know, I'll look at Vet. I don't know. It's been so chip choppy all day, Vet, but I think it still has more steam in it. But um, so just going over Troy, it's did the same thing. A little bit of an uglier wedge, but it broke out. Um, broke out, didn't even retest honestly, but it's kind of just been like slowly uptrending, letting the daily MAs flip into support. Right now we're at the 200 MA and EMA on the daily, and as you guys know, is like the final hurdle per se, MA wise. Like in my opinion, I could add the 300, but I don't mess around with the 300 to be honest. But just looks ready for continuation, right? Like where the daily MAs are squeezing below and above against price, which typically results in a pop, and like it hasn't had any major up move. It has decent volume coming in, and I think is just like is ready, right? And um, it's difficult to say because we are at daily MA resistance. Like this is considered resistance still, right? So you don't want to buy right into resistance. Any retests around like the low 40s would be ideal for an entry, but also on the flip of the 200 MA, which might even happen tonight depending on where price closes. Like if it closes at 46, I'd bid 45, 46, fill my bag and just like hold on and then exit on a close back below. But I think this one's gonna get some legs soon. I can feel it. Pearl's pretty similar, but just like similar per se in regards to the MAs, and that it's an IEO. Didn't have a falling wedge, had this like ugly head and shoulders type of thing, and it just kind of like vomited. Went to a new low, reclaimed that low, started flipping the daily MAs, and now same picture as Troy. They're both smacking against the 200 EMA right now, like almost identical. So same thing. This is still considered resistance, but even getting a fill like around that daily MAs below around, or even around the weekly open here at like 237-ish would be beautiful. But I'm assuming both of these are gonna flip that EMA in the next day or two. So we'll see what ends up happening. Unless like Bitcoin takes a shit, because honestly that could easily happen. But like I don't know, still perfectly alive, and like with all this like all these like big Twitter accounts even just mentioning the word Bitcoin, I don't know, you know, you might see some shit happen. But like Biden just tweeted, like how many people follow Biden? But whatever, enough of that. So those two, Troy and Pearl, I think look quite good from that perspective, and they both haven't had any sort of run at all since altcoins started moving and their IEO. So it's like Are they gonna just die now? Probably not, especially after looking so perfectly reset, right? So those are two I have bags for, like fairly significantly sized, but like from a few days ago now. So my entries are quite good, and I can even set my stops at break even at this point. But um, invalidation is quite tight. Just set your stops below the daily MA cluster, maybe below the weekly open. Yeah, it's like around 10% or so actually. Even a close below the weekly open on the daily would be ideal, but keep it like fairly loose just in case wicks come by. But let's move on. CDT. I don't know if you guys remember CDT, but this massive falling wedge was actually shown to me by one of the like one of our old members who's like occupied with school right now, and I don't know if you guys remember Alex, good kid, but he showed me this actually, and I kind of followed it ever since, and it's actually moved from like it's got in the like yeah around like right here, right when it was breaking out 37, so it went up from 37, went up about almost 190%. You're welcome, man. Hopefully this is like simple enough to follow. I'm trying to not overcomplicate it. And it doesn't need to be complicated, right? Like I see fucking all these charts and shit that are all fucking all over the place, and all this weird reasoning and crazy indicators and fucking, you know, I don't even know what the fuck you can call them. Just strange things on your charts. So unnecessary. Like having MAs work really well. I've added the daily, weekly, monthly um, open indicator, super cool. I have this Gainsey diagonal indicator, just kind of shows me like diagonals when I miss them. Like you can see the one right here. I'll draw over it. This one right here. So it's just like, I don't know, it just helps spot diagonals that you might not like see by yourself or just like miss, you know? So it's just like a nice added thing, and then you can just like draw the diagonal and turn the indicator off because it's a little obnoxious. And then Gainsey's order block candles are actually pretty cool too. Dimitri showed them to me, but it just shows like where order blocks are, right? So he showed me a couple charts actually, like if you can consider that support and resistance, right? Like right now this is a resistance level, so you could like basically sell right below it, or use it as a support level if there was one below you. So I recommend it for those who are looking for some indicators that'll keep your charts clean, but like are actually useful. But yeah, you gotta play around with them. So. But yeah, CDT, I didn't really explain, but just nicely flipped all the daily MAs and sitting on top of the 200 EMA, but it's kind of lost it a couple times, reclaimed it, lost it, but as these daily MAs get closer and closer to current price, it just gives me more reasoning or like belief that it's going to go for a leg up in the near future, but I don't know, it's a mediocre chart. Like it's not mind-blowing, but like just because there's so many great structures out there right now, I like to be picky, but also as you guys have seen, I've posted like fucking 30 different alts like in the past week, and I apologize. I don't want to have it too cumbersome, but I just want, I don't know, when I see something that looks good, I love to share with you guys, and I want you to see what I see, hopefully learn and understand what I'm actually eyeing out. But like KMD is another one. I haven't posted about it yet. I actually reached out to Ricky because I know he liked this one, like fundamental wise. But just simply saw this diagonal here, saw this diagonal here. Obviously, price is gonna press against it. Daily EMAs are mainly flip support, other than the 200 EMA. And like seeing that we're getting so close to the edge of it, it's obviously gonna be forced to pop one way or another. I'm assuming up, but obviously I'm just gonna wait for some kind of close above. Maybe even just wait for the 4-hour close above. Obviously the daily would be even better, and then yeah, obviously exit, close back inside the diagonal, and then just like set some modest targets, right? Like set it at this high here, set one at this high here, boom boom, maybe even turn the order block on, see if there's anything there. You could even sell some right around here. But yeah, pretty straightforward stuff, I think, guys. And yeah, easy 22% and an easy 37%. So we'll see what happens, but thought that one looked pretty cool. Waves is clearly a strong rejection candle here at this horizontal level. Kinda like I'll erase the chart. It has gone up pretty far since we originally entered. Like it did manage to go up about 22%. But at this point, I wouldn't be entering, and obviously with that massive rejection candle, um, anything that looks like this clearly shows that there's sellers. Like there's sellers like here, and um, they're gonna like hold price down until they get past. So they got Obama. Oh my God, no fucking way did they do that. That's so funny. Where are you, Obama? What, did he delete it already? Yeah, I guess he got it really, really quickly. So I wonder, like, I'm curious as to whether or not. Please hack still prison. This is why I stay from. Fuck you. Um, that's actually really annoying. This Dave guy, I don't know why he won't cave and just get into crypto yet. He loves volatile stocks. Like, come on, man, get your shit together. But, wow, yeah, that's wild. He deleted it really quickly. Eh? So what I was gonna say is, I wonder if, like, do you still get full access to your own account? Or are they changing your password, or are they locking you out somehow? Like, I'm curious as to, like, because there's a lot of tweets that haven't even been deleted other than, like, Obama's, and I saw Apple's whole Twitter is deactivated, but I haven't seen anyone actually follow up since and say, oops, I was hacked. Let me eat some gummy bears while you guys type. That's pretty crazy, though. Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Joe Biden, Warren Buffett. Oh, they got Warren Buffett? Wow. Kanye West, Michael Bloomberg, Apple, Uber, Jeff Bezos, Barack. Haha. Yeah, that's crazy. Well, Twitter's fucked. Alright. They even got Jack. Oh my god, I'm done. Okay. Yep. Bitcoin's still looking fine. Still ranging. Let's get back to the altcoins, I guess, guys. So Matic still looks fine. Like, each day we're closing at a higher level, which shows that we're in a nice uptrend. Daily MAs look quite good. If you wanted to get in, this MA7 here would be a pretty nice spot to get wicked into. 230. Yeah, set your bids at 230, 231. I think that would be a pretty good entry, but we are uptrending. Still looks quite good. I see some massive Matic mega bulls. There's kind of a weird ring to it. Anyway, it has still quite a nice gap till like the first major resistance level, like 19%. Then add on the leverage onto that. That's some good coin right there. So, yeah, entry at 231. I really don't think it's gonna come all the way back down to 210 if it's gonna continue bullish. Like at the 200 EMA, once you start losing any of the daily EMAs, that's when I'm like, Like I kind of lose interest in things when they start losing them, right? Just doesn't show that it has nice solid bullish like momentum to it. So, but Matic looks good. Like it looks fine. A little bit of like selling each day, but we are still like steadily uptrending. So looks fine. If you're in position, like perfectly fine hold. But if you want to get in, even set an alert at like 232, 233, and then just see if it happens to go off and get in around there. So let's see what this bitch is doing. Where even is the... Oh, yeah, see, rejected really hard. I was liking Vib because it was above the 200 EMA, but like nice 7.5% rejection before it even gets above. It's kind of a turn off, so I'm honestly just going to remove it from my list. WRX, nothing's really changed. Daily EMAs are fine. Like we've just kind of been sitting atop of here for about 2 weeks now, right? So I don't know if this is consolidation before a move up. Well, that's what I'm gonna assume it is anyways. Consolidation before a move up, just because there's not a ton of volatility. We're sitting on top of the MAs and EMAs. The volume is really minute, like a bit of buy volume, but like there's clearly no major sell-off or anything like that. And I think Binance bought them out or something like that, and hasn't really had a major move yet. So honestly, I think CZ's just has this one in his arsenal for when he's like when it's a rainy day or something, and might just fucking launch it up. So there's not a lot of resistance as you guys can see, right? Like you could maybe like take profits at like these 3 levels, right? Because we bonked off right here, like we bonked off here, and we bonked off here, just the different highs, right? Like pretty straightforward stuff. You don't need to overcomplicate it. even just throw this here for fun. But yeah, honestly, like it looks good. And it's considered an IEO, I guess, right? Because it's a Binance bought coin or made coin, so that one looks fine. POA, I think a lot of alts had a bit of a sell-off this morning actually, but POA one looks fine as well. Kind of just been, well, more or less just been going sideways. Had this drop, but the lows were reclaimed, which is quite good. So as you can see, lost it, reclaimed. Daily MAs are now flipped. Like big picture wise, it looks very good. Set this here, and I'll set this down here actually, and use our handy dandy date tool just for a rough idea. So it's been about a year. Like these aren't perfect, right? But just outlining a range where prices just bounced on the bottom, bounced on the top, and just kind of respected ever since. Had this kind of fake out but buyback, and then yeah, the daily MAs look quite good. And after doing this for about a year, I think it's fair to assume that accumulation is over. It's kind of there around the amount of time where we've seen other alts like Zill, Verge, and all that, like go through and then start moving up, and the structure just looks good, right? So POA is on my list. Honestly, even just like an entry here, right? Like it's at 155, 200 EMA is at 152-ish. So honestly, just getting an entry even at current price, exit on a close when we start losing the daily MAs. And then you can even set some aggressive targets, like just like start taking some profit right below the resistance level here. Like boom, boom, for a quick 40, 45%. Like that's pretty good, guys, if you ask me. If you know, throw in a few $100, 45% on that. Might take a few days, might take a few weeks. 45%, you know, pretty solid. But yeah, I think it's gonna start moving soon. And these gaps are pretty big. Like this is probably another 45% or so. This next, yeah, 43%. Because look, price didn't really mess around in these levels too much. Like right here, it's basically considered a gap up until here. So 40%, 40%, put that together, you know, it's quite a lot. And then the further you go up for like the 2019 drops. These gaps are fucking huge. Look at this. Price just fell. So there's no resistance in the way whatsoever. So once we start flipping this kind of entanglement here, or flip this range, the gaps are fucking huge. Up until each SR level. So pretty interesting shit. POA looks good. Keep it on your list. Man. Yeah, this is like looking at man. Also looks good. Like not really much to say. It's just kind of been going sideways, but the MAs are starting to curl underneath support. I mean, curling underneath us as support. Nothing drastic's happening though, right? Like we could still go sideways for a good while, so it's good to have a small bag, but honestly, like it hasn't done too much, like in regards to movement, so I'm not like gonna devote too much of my like allocation to something like this, only because of like opportunity costs and how like volatile some coins are right now. Like the leverage coins or the futures coins are doing so much every single day. It's like I can't even like help myself to have a main focus on this until like the momentum on here stops, right? Because if it's moving like a few percent whatever direction each day, add leverage onto that, like there's days where I'm pulling 20, 30, 40, 50% or more in a single day. So it's kind of why I've had a big focus on there, and I think it's very understandable. But I did ENJ just because I have friends that are bullish on it. Like I see Pierre talking about it, Dimitri's talked about it, I think Nick has talked about it. But like, I find it mediocre, right? Like it's not really doing much, you know? Like it is steadily uptrending, but like hasn't had any kind of major move, and maybe it's coming up soon, but like I don't know. I'd target this high next. Like you could get in at these daily MAs that right here. entry, but like it just doesn't really excite me, to be honest with you. So we'll see what happens. I'll probably be wrong and it'll go to the moon, but just I don't know. I think it's only mediocre. DBC, D Brain Chain, good old TOB shitcoin, actually still looks quite good. As we've talked about before, this one I do expect to go on a fucking tear, but like honestly, I just don't know when. Like it's impossible to say, right? It's never had a real run, but as you guys can see, the gaps between levels is just so insane that I can't even find where we are. The gaps between levels is just so insane that like once it starts moving, I think it's just gonna go fucking absurd. But hasn't really had enough time to like reset. I think it needs to go sideways for a little while longer just to get these MAs underneath us and start flipping the 200 MA and EMA, and then maybe start reclaiming some of these previous lows, and then maybe I'll consider getting a position. But yeah, I don't know. It's mediocre. Liska might take off my list. Look at this. It's just like, I don't know. Harsh rejection candle, lost the EMA, another harsh rejection today. So it's like, I don't know. Look, like, I don't know. It's hard to say, right? I wanted to get back above the 200 EMA and hold it strong for me to actually get in position. But I just thought that it went from these sloppy MAs. Like, you look at, like, they're all spread out, look like fucking hot garbage. But now as we zoom in, like they're curled quite nicely to current price. But yeah, this rejection looks like hot dog shit. So, whew, EKT. Yeah. Not much to say about this one either. Just fucking up, down, up, down, up, down. Might even do that for a while. I don't fucking know. H bar, kind of slipping. I don't know if any of you guys are in this one, but it broke out nicely, retested, but now it's kind of just like sitting on the diagonal. No momentum behind it. Basically no volume behind it, and any volume looks like selling volume. So it's like, I don't know. I was actually expecting a nice like push up by CZ because it's an IEO, right? So a little mind-boggling that like it's just kind of dying, but I don't know. Maybe it'll get some momentum. Honestly, I'm not sure. Lamb. I think this is one Krillin links, right? Yeah, CEO of Lamb. So like it looks like pretty good, but like as you can see, 200 MA is kind of awkwardly 16% above as resistance. And then 200 EMA is another 18% above as resistance. So you could just like buy the horizontal, sell at these level, like sell right below the MA and EMA. And I think this is probably, once we get above 290, excuse me, once we get above 290, which is this horizontal like SR, so it bounced here, and once it lost it just fucking vomited. So I think once we reclaim that, plus the 200 EMA is right there as well. So I think once price like does this thing, whatever, fucking loop-de-loops, and like gets above that level, you could just buy that retest, and then it's like somewhat clear skies to the levels above. So I think it looks pretty good, but like I'll be a lot more excited once it gets above this like 290 mark. So we'll see. What's Bitcoin doing? Just chilling. Okay. Yeah. S&M, pretty harsh rejection, but still sitting on the MAs. So I don't know. I don't know if any of you are in this position. I remember talking to, I don't know how to pronounce the name, Bjorsen. When it was, at this resistance point, and I even said, hey, like consider taking some profits as we're at this horizontal resistance. Hopefully you guys did, but you can see there's a nice diagonal here, so it would be valid until we lose that. I'd say, like, we're still uptrending. We haven't lost the MA structure. Still below this horizontal resistance in the 200 EMA and MA, but you could argue we're just gonna, build up through here, and then once we flip that horizontal, it might be a good trigger to buy some more, or a retest of this diagonal. Would be a nice tight validation, right? Because if you enter on the retest, and then just exit on a close below, that's like a few percent like loss if it didn't validate, or the upside is quite a bit more. But we'll see. My main point would be this 124 level. That's when things get a lot simpler and cleaner, and there's no like heavy resistances in the way. So did you did ZJLT? Steam, I just have it on here because I know it's gonna pop one day, but it just fucking hasn't. Its price action is fucking super ugly, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't have a bag. Raven, talked about this morning with you guys. I figured it was gonna retest this 220-ish area if you wanted to aggressively bid, but we basically had that Qcoin news come out here, fucking launched up. I clearly stated, okay, well it's gonna get faded. And yeah, well, you never really know. Like, it needed to keep going past this MA and AMA to have, like, obviously any kind of bullish continuation, but that was a massively harsh rejection for now. So yeah, it was the sell the news event, obviously. And yeah, you could build the DMA retest and then obviously just set your horizontal levels and take profit accordingly. But yeah, I don't really like how strong of a sell-off this was, and the news was faded pretty hard. So I don't know, mediocre. Like, I don't have a bag, to be transparent. I do not have a bag of Raven, but getting in around this point would be pretty tight in validation anyway. Between the at the 220 to 216 mark would be fine. I think that's really about it. AGI losing the 200-day EMA. Really not a lot going on. I had this all drawn out for you guys, but can't seem to hold it. Let's see what's actually moving well. Dusk, yeah. What really pisses me off is that Dusk was on my short list right when it was like flipping the 200 EMA the other day. I was like, oh, cool, great. Like, I'll keep an eye on it, and then retest it on launch. So that's kind of a shame. But it's as simple as that though, right, guys? Like, we reclaimed this red low. Like, this was the previous low, so we lost. I guess let me explain this a bit better. So, bounced here support, lost it and puked. So obviously you're not going to buy at this point, but it did some consolidating. And right when it reclaimed this low that I've highlighted in red, you could have bought, or wait till we flip the 200-day EMA, which I recommend to you guys all the time. Wait for it to close above, buy the retest, and the daily EMAs are now curling underneath the price. So if we're sitting here, that's a good reason to get in. And as you guys can see, in one day, that's a quick 43% if you had just bought that. So those are the things we need to keep an eye out for. Those are the things I'm personally looking out for all the time. I do feel really bad I didn't mention anything about it. I didn't get a bag either. I didn't have an opportunity. I had my eyes on futures a little too much just because things have been so crazy there lately. But I'll do my best to keep an eye on these for you guys. Yeah, BLZ, same thing, right? Flip the EMAs and then buy this little purple one's MA7. Just buy the retest of that every time it comes down and you'll be golden. But this one's way too pumped up now. BLZ, you know, it's just kind of hanging in free air now. So if you bought it now, your invalidation's pretty damn far away. So steer clear. If you have position, take some profit. But yeah, broke out of a very similar like long-term range. So maybe if it came down to retest the top of the range, cool, good entry. But at this point, I don't really know where it's headed. So yeah, what else we got? If there's anything else you guys want me to look at, let me know. Yeah, lend. Fucking pissed me off, guys. So I'm sure you guys saw my tweet. I actually remember very vividly because I used to like. I wasn't friends with Shelby, but like he tweeted about it, and then I also tweeted about it with a different perspective, and I saw this what kind of looked like a cup and handle. Oh shit, wrong thing. Thought this was a cup and handle type of thing. I remember one guy even tweeted saying, "Oh, that's not a reversal pattern." Ugh. So it's like, okay, fuck you. I was pretty new to trading, right? It was January 8th. It wasn't new to trading, but like I wasn't overly confident. Let's go to the tweet. He's like, the fuck is it? CNH, not a reversal pattern, sir. Well, hey, buddy, it's gone up fucking 1100% since that point. That was the bottom. So fuck you for making me miss. Well, it's not his fault, and I should follow my own plan, but like, still, big fuck you. If I had just bought this like handle that I thought was a cup and handle, I would be fucking. Oh, it's more than 1134. If I bought that handle retest, it'd be fucking 2500%. So you can suck a big dick. So it can be as simple as that, though, guys. Just fucking buy these MA breakouts, buy these, I don't know, bottom formations, and just kind of hold on tight. But it's, you know, it's obviously hard just to hold on tight and, you know, not do anything with it. But kind of out of breath from talking, to be honest. So, yeah. But this looks fun. Do they have link on here at all? I swear I saw someone post about link. There you are. Binance futures. Oh, cool. I haven't played around with this very much, but is there nothing here? Interesting. So it doesn't look like there's that many massive orders here, but I gotta play around with this a little more though, guys. I only really look at the OKX chart 'cause it's what seems to like decide where we're headed next, or shows where the major moves are coming. But yeah, nothing crazy. Let's see. Anything else you guys want me to look at? Any tickers, any topics, any of that kind of shit? Maybe I'll look at those. I'll go through the leverage coins real quick, but Link still looks very nice. Broke out of this wedge and just set my stops. If you just like buy the breakout, set your stops just below and just kind of let it ride. Like, I don't know where this is gonna end up, but and just like maybe even set a couple of stops or set a trailing stop if you have 3 commas, and just like let it ride out, right? And this might just keep going. Cause like if you think about it, I don't think like if we're looking back, I don't think Link is gonna be all-time high, $8.74. Like I'm pretty sure we're gonna. I have a really strong feeling, and I've mentioned a couple times. I think we're gonna hit this $10 mark. Come on, you bitch. I think we're gonna hit that $10 mark by the end of the week, but we'll see. Cause we've gone up. Like I remember just the other day, I was like, "Oh yeah, I can't wait to see Link at $6." Well, fucking Link at $6 was already way down there, so it's pretty crazy to see how quickly we can go. And I remember on back in 2017. Jesus Christ. I haven't looked at this in a long time, but yeah, no, it was around here. No, no, it's actually before here, but yeah. Let's see if I can find an older one. How far does this go? Okay, so I bought my first ETH around, it was at $40. So I bought my first ETH right here. $40, right? And I didn't know anything about crypto, like at all. I just remember I almost bought Bitcoin once before. I was like, okay, crypto's still a thing. Had an active community. I was like, okay, I'll buy some, cool, whatever. Coinbase was a thing, so I bought 1 ETH on Coinbase for $40. And then look how fucking quickly we spiked up to $400 in like March, April, May, June, just a couple months. And as you just like that's insane if you think about it, right, guys? Because if Link's at $10 now and ETH was at $40 then, like that was a very swift 1000% pump. If Link decides, hey, I also want to do that, which is a similar like the pricing differences or variances are not very high. So there is a very good chance, in my opinion, that if we get some kind of fucking crazy run, it's not out of the picture. I see people on Twitter that are like, oh, there's no fucking way Link's going to whatever amount, but like we've seen it before with something that was at $40 go up to like Ethereum went all the way up to $1,400, like from 40. So like I don't know. we'll see what happens. I'm not saying that it's going to, but like I don't know. I think we're gonna see some crazy shit over the next year in the space. I don't know. I'm not sure what to expect, but I'm ready for it, and I'll do my best to make you guys as much fucking money as I possibly can, and myself obviously too, right? So, but obviously, once things start to dump, don't be the guy that just fucking hodls it the entire way down. But I don't know. The fact that we've gone from like we had this like that's pretty scary to look at. It's like fucking Mount Vesuvius or some shit. But like look at this fucking move that up. It did a 3,363-ish% from when I bought it. Like that was good times. But obviously fucking free fall zone did some consolidating. The fact that like people are calling like just delete this shit for now. The fact that people are like, "Oh, we're at the top. We're at the top." Well, hey, we've only just flipped the weekly MAs, right? Like we're only just getting on top of them now. And last time we got on top of them, like way back here, we rode up a pretty fucking insane amount. And like I said, I don't know if we're gonna do that again, but the fact that people are calling tops already and trying to short the shit out of this, um, I'm not entirely sure that's gonna happen. Like I don't think we're gonna just fall. We'll see. I don't know. I'm gonna keep accumulating, especially Ethereum. My ledger, I'm just filling and filling my ledger with ETH. Even I've got my friends on board, so hopefully I don't fuck them over. But a couple of them buy like 1 ETH a week, and I'm like, cool. Well, keep accumulating that, and that could potentially be worth a shitload if you just leave it for a long period of time. So cool shit to just kind of cool to look back in history a bit. If anyone's even fucking listening to me ramble on anymore, but yeah, I don't know. Crypto's a pretty fucking wild space, and the fact we've had the vice president just tweet about crypto, man, anything is possible. I wonder if they, yeah, I don't know if they go after Donald Trump, but I didn't think they'd go after the vice president either. So wild as fuck, guys, wild as fuck. Oh look, yeah, look, trending in Canada, Bitcoin, and probably all around the world. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, well, I think I'm gonna hop off, guys. If anyone's even, is anyone even watching? Yeah, a couple of people watching. So, um, it's been quite the day. Um, like I said, I only have a little bit of exposure on Link just because um, not overly sure where we're headed next. Just because as we looked at Bitcoin earlier, it's building up in this wedge. Still has some time to decide what it wants to do. I'm not rushing to short or long anything. I'm just kind of somewhat flat after the bit of a run that we've had over the past like week or so. But I also think Algo looks really good. Yeah, look at this. Nice steady uptrend. Broke out of this diagonal. Quite a nice juicy target. Once we flip this recent high right here, 2933, I'm probably going to buy some more. So like, wait to close above, buy the retest, and then target that 3930-ish area, which is pretty exponential. Like it's 33% before leverage. Add on 10x leverage, 5x leverage. That's pretty significant depending on whatever your sizing is. But even Tezos, right? Like Tezos looks fucking bomb. Um, I had been watching, um, yeah, daily closes in 2 hours. This was the daily resistance level that we've been watching, and now we're actually good chunk like above it. So if we close price above here, I'll probably mark it by a little bit, and then hopefully get a retest onto that 3.04-ish area to add on to my position. But um, nice like nice gaps up, like 19% again. So I think Tezos is definitely want to keep an eye on. But we'll see what happens, guys. Yeah, like Kane was looking at Vet. I've been looking at it all day. This shit's fucking choppy as fuck, and I don't know what it's trying to do right here. It's just kind of fucking, probably just like, shaking people out with its uncertainty. Not really a fan. But same with Neo. Neo looks pretty fucking great. This is the horizontal level I've been watching. It's rejected constantly off of it. But once we flip that, I'll once again just do a like buy a bit on the breakout and then retest and buy some more. Yeah, sorry man. Vet's a little, I don't know. Like it's it's just not giving a clear direction, and I don't know. I don't really want to fuck around with that, but because there's a lot of others that look good, right? Like Tezos looks good, Neo looks good. Like once the setups play out properly, Atom looks pretty good. It's probably gonna just fucking dink around in here, do that. KNC looks fucked. Like I don't know what the fuck it's doing. Basically lost the wedge, reclaimed the wedge, broke out above the wedge, lost that, sitting on the MAs, kind of sitting on the bottom of the wedge. Way too fucking disgusting for me to play. TRX looks like shit. Bitcoin's gonna decide what it's gonna do soon. XRP, like when I'm looking at charts, guys, like this isn't something that's screaming moon to me. Like it's just fucking, just kind of fucking whatever it's doing. I don't even know how to explain that. You might be able to like draw a triangle if you try really fucking hard, but I don't know. That's pretty fucking ugly. Um, yeah, ETH like is holding on, which is nice to see. Um, shitty, shitty, shitty. Yeah, there's a lot of these majors look like fucking hot garbage, but the nice thing is that there's at least a few that look good. Yeah. Cardano needs to like crack above this level we've been watching. It's rejected 3 times now, so I don't know. Needs to, if it doesn't break it on the fourth go, I don't know, man. I think it's gonna just fucking fall soon. Charles needs to do something. Yeah, that's really about it. The rest just don't look that appealing to me. So Link, Tezos, Algo, Atom, um, Neo, and maybe Vet if it fucking gets its shit together. But everything else is a very meh right now. So yeah, I'll keep posting any setups I see. We'll see what happens over the next few days. We'll see what happens with this Twitter drama, but definitely some interesting days. Um, yeah, ooh, cool Pierre. Yeah, definitely some interesting days right now in crypto, but sure we'll make some money no matter what happens. But it's cool to see that crypto's trending all over the world, so it's good. Okay, well, I'm gonna get off now. So, if you guys need anything, shoot me a message. I'm always around, as you guys know. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in. It's nice to not just fucking chat with myself all the time. So.